Okay, I'll let him out. Come on, baby. Drink. I forgot his water was outside. Hello? Is this thing on? Let's see. There. Getting all squared away, settled in. I'm like a minute late. The whole podcast is ruined now. Why isn't that playing? Why is that happening? I have no audio in my headphones. So it's still doing it. That's weird. Bear with me here, guys. I'm trying to work through a struggle here. Huh. So, can you guys hear the background music? Because I can't hear it in my headset. But the clips in the broadcast software says that it's playing. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, so turn that down. Yeah, you did. Finally made it on time, Junk. Oh, guys. I figured it out. Your headphones don't work if you don't plug them in. Unreal. Let's try. Okay, then go here. Yeah, there we go. We did it. What, baby? You have to let someone talk. What's up? Hi, baby. Love you too. I had everything unhooked from my computer so I could take it to work, and I guess I forgot to plug it back in. Whoops. So I usually have that stuff set up wirelessly so I can just unplug a thing and go. You told there would be donuts for today's podcast? I mean, you're buying them. That's all I know. Yo. So what is this? Y'all going to team up on me again? I mean, are we going to do this again? I mean, how about cheese pizza for the podcast? So all of you can just go on. You're going to play this game. Oh, I heard the same thing. Yeah, you guys are real funny. I'll show you how that ends. Cheese pizza for everybody. with blue cheese as the dipping sauce. Take that. That's all I've got to say. Last week's podcast was a lot of fun. Speaking of all of that, had a lot of fun podcasting with my guy, Snacks. He's a really good friend of mine, has been for a long time, and he's always a good time as it is. He and I could just sit and talk for hours, so it was really cool to have him on. I really did appreciate that. Hopefully he stops in this morning. What's up, John? How you doing? Getting settled in here, letting the crowd kind of roll in before we get started. My wife says I say that too much, so I'm only going to say it once. Yeah, Snacks was good as a guest. He's a really good, like, conversational person. Like I said, he and I could sit and talk for hours. And we hadn't talked, like, we talk almost daily as it is, but to sit down and have like a voice-to-voice conversation, like we could just sit and talk for hours, and we hadn't done that in quite a while. I haven't seen him. Gosh, it's been a minute. I haven't seen him, so it was just nice to sit down and kind of talk and catch up for a little bit. Oh, Adam, you ain't late to the party yet. We still got our 10-minute window for everybody to get filed in. See, I used a segue to say at that time instead of saying letting everybody get in here. She's not listening to me. What's everybody got going on softball-wise this weekend? Thursday's here. I know it's if you're in the Missouri area, we are fighting the rain battle. I think league is going to end up getting rained out tonight. So yeah, Virgil, I'm definitely going to do a review on one of those bump boxes that Headbanger sells. They've got to get more in stock, and then that is totally the plan. I actually sold one to a guy that is local, a good friend of mine, but just haven't had a chance to get hooked up with him yet to be able to do that. It'll either be me getting one to review and then doing who knows what with it, or getting hooked up with him so I can do a review on it, and we can get it going either way. Those things are pretty freaking sweet, I must say. Yeah, Jason, we definitely do need to have Adam on as a guest. Like, I keep forgetting to, like, put out feelers and, like, say, hey, what do you want to be on the podcast this week, until it's like Wednesday night. I don't want to give anybody like 12 hours notice. So, well, hell, he's here. I tell you what. How about next week, Adam? Next week, 10 a.m. Central Time. Not for any of you East Coasters. We'll see if he can work us into his schedule. That's how it'll go. I know he might be at work, because I know a lot of people do the work thing. And speaking of which, I know that some people come back and watch these listen to the podcast after the fact. So if you're in that crowd here, obviously you're not right now, but if you're in the go back and listen crowd, comment down below with a time that works for like evening time, a day and a time. So if I can get something kind of like a roundabout idea, I don't mind running some night shows either. I'm going to look into doing that. I just don't know, what day or what time or anything else. Preferably maybe split them up a little bit. Like if I'm podcasting on a Thursday, maybe do it on a Monday, or hell, we could even do it like on a Sunday night. Not Sunday night wouldn't be good. We can figure something out. Adam says he should be good to go. All right, that's cool. I'll send you a link to some stuff I'll have you download and make patching you in super easy. What's up, Jorge? How you doing, man? Got everybody checking in. I think you're... Let's see. I want to say that your Dudley should be out for delivery today, right? My man got one of those Dudleys after the video that we posted a couple weeks ago. I ended up selling like 4 of those in a very short time frame, and I don't sell a ton of stuff. It's kind of nice to be able to have access to things to get people some good pricing on some stuff from Headbanger Sports, and it was nice to be able to swing that thing, have a lot of fun with it, and then be able to get some for the people too. I sold why did I say 4 of those sold 3 of them in a night, and then sold another one a week or so later. So I thought that was pretty cool. I never had that happen before, where I posted a video and ended up selling a handful of the bats. Corn dogs, Jackie. Yeah, just Venmo you some cash. Run the look. Brian Fisk over here saying, "No, just Venmo me some cash and I run the Dunkin'." Yeah, okay. Well, somebody else can Venmo you the cash. You guys can just have your own little listen party somewhere. But I'm not footing this bill. I'm not doing this. It's cheese pizza or nothing. Dr. Trolling in the house. Dead air, he says. What you mean, Eric? You talking about dead air? Did you lose me or something? Hope not, because everything's showing it's working. Yeah, so my guy Mitchell's gonna be laid up. He says they need to pump out some videos when when you're laid down. Yeah, we'll see what we can do about that. Maybe we'll have you on for the podcast while you're laid up at home. That'll be a good time. Ryan Johnson in the house too? Man, y'all are out of control today. No, Adam, you cannot get a pizza. I shouldn't have said a word. Eric, you may try closing and opening back up. I mean, I think everybody else can hear me. Everybody else can hear me just fine, right? Junk says bring Mitchell on when he's on the good stuff. Look at him when he's just home and loopy from his meds. He don't need the meds to be loopy though. That'll be a good thing. All right. Well, y'all are busy in the chat this morning. Got me distracted. We're gonna get rolling here. Got a small list of stuff we can go on about this morning. So, if you are consistent with watching the videos, you got your notifications turned on like you should, then you will know what got posted on Facebook and what got posted on YouTube. I don't even know what day that was. Was that Monday or Tuesday? Yeah, and make sure I tuck my pockets in first. Har, har, har. Those damn shorts. I love those shorts so much, but it's like they're just a tad baggy on me. So like I try and hike them up, so because they come down over my knees and it bugs me. So I'm always trying to hike them up and adjust them and mess with them and carry on. And I guess the way I do it, it pushes the pocket out when I pull them up. So I didn't realize I had them both pushed out. But I was just like, God dang it, man. But that's not the first time those shorts have done that to me. So I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and say something before somebody else does. Then it was one pocket's one thing, but both of them, you just out there looking ridiculous at that point. So anyway, so if you follow along at all with the videos and keep up with that stuff, then you will have seen the video that got posted Tuesday. And it is, in fact, the Big M. I don't know if Mitchell's right. It'll either be my most watched video or the least watched video. So I'll get into kind of why I'm doing that video as I post the video, but just kind of a little bit of what do you call it, foreshadowing, where I tell you what's going on beforehand. So I ripped on Monster for years and years and years for pre-order times and delays and things getting pushed back and a constant wait and a need to wait for bats and just things basically just being an absolute shit show. And I'll be blunt. Pure kind of did the same thing to me with the order with the custom bats that we ran last year. I'm very happy with how everything came out. As far as everybody got their bats, the people that enjoyed them, I'm really happy about that. I even enjoyed the ones that I got. But I mean, to be blunt, to be honest, like there's a lot going on behind the scenes that I mean, that's not necessarily like I was trying to hide it or anything. It's just people don't know about it unless you kind of deal with like maybe like the custom side of things. But I mean, it was clear into November of last year. I was told there would be, whenever I placed the order, basically bats were going to start coming in like mid to early September, or mid August to early September. And that was like late. That was the latest they were going to come in. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's do this thing. Got everybody all hyped up and excited. And bats didn't start rolling out until like October. I got them in like little bitty bits and batches. And then I had a handful that were missing or were the wrong weight or the wrong specs. And then I had another one that just mysteriously disappeared and eventually ended up with me just giving the guy his money back out of my own pocket because things were delayed or whatever was going on. I understand they're busy, and I'm not saying that business owners can't be busy, but it doesn't matter. The details don't matter. What matters is everything that I harp on with the Monster stuff is basically what went on with me and Pure. I suggest don't do, like you got people pre-ordering bats, you got people ordering bats and taking a month to get them. You got customs taking forever to come in, which I don't think Monster does customs, but that's about the only thing short of it. Really, the only difference between Monster and Pure, in my opinion, is ownership-wise. I haven't seen Pure's owners take a handful of Ambien and then challenge a U-Trip major team to a best-of-5 tournament at Vieira. That's the only thing I haven't seen so far. Customer service side of things, it seems to be hit or miss, which is the same thing with Monster. The ownership-wise, the Pure guys do seem to be doing what they can. But nonetheless, I can't harp on one company for doing that and then, stand behind them and then not want to do anything with the other. So I figured fair is fair. Give it a shot. Like I've swung them before in BP. I mean, they're performers. You'll never catch me on record saying that they're not. Are they worth the price? Are they worth the hype? Are they worth the wait? Because I had to wait a minute for this one. We'll find out. I put a handful of swings on it the other day. I'm even going to be fair and give it more of a chance than I normally would with any other bat. With most bats, it's, kind of draw a conclusion. I've been pretty lucky these last few years. Bats break in fairly quick or perform well out of the wrapper. Even still, like doing enough of this, like you can get a good gauge of how a bat's going to be when it's fairly new. So, we can get away with putting like 200 swings tops on a bat. That's the ones that like need to be broken in so you can see what they're going to do before you kind of move on. And I'm going to take this past this point just to be fair and give it a full review and give it a full shot and a fair chance. Because I don't swing a ton of Monsters. I'm not going to swing a ton of Monsters. So the one that I got, I want to break it in, give it a fair chance so I can be unbiased in this review. So we're going to do that. I've even debated. Oh, I can't even say it. Ooh. I've even debated gaming it until I'm done with it, done messing around with it. Oh, it tastes terrible coming out of my mouth. I've even debated gaming it just to give it that much more of a chance to see what the hype is about and everything else. But it does look like League is going to get rained out tonight, so hopefully I can talk myself out of doing that at least until we get done with this thing. But that's kind of what's going on with that. I know it blew a lot of people's minds, and I mean, I took that thing out of the box. I got in the batter's box with it, and man, like I felt like an open mouth kissed my sister, and I don't even have a sister. That's how bad I felt with that bat in my hands. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I'm gonna be fair and give it a fair chance because I did see a couple guys in the comments saying, "Oh, he's gonna make it a mockery. He already doesn't like it," and blah blah blah. I mean, I bought this bat with my own money. I shouldn't say my own money. I bought this bat with money from the support of you guys. We got some Patreon supporters if you're interested in that. I think the link is down below in the description. Toss a little cash in here and there, whatever else, because anything helps with content. What? Oh, yeah. Because, anything helps with content and that kind of thing. But, also there is, I say loosely, money to be made on YouTube. It's hardly a pitch in the pot, but every little bit helps. And that is how I was able to order this monster and get this thing going. So I'm not going to spend the money on, especially what it takes to get a new one. I'm not going to spend that kind of money on one just to make a mockery of it or waste my time with it. And it's my time I could be spending reviewing something else. So in a nutshell, I'm going to give it a fair go, probably even more than a fair go, just to see. And just to make it seem like it's not a complete waste of my time and a complete waste it's going to be a joke to somebody. So we'll see what happens with it. But I'm done. I'm done even talking about it. Ugh. So, but as far as softball goes, though, got a big, I say big. I don't think there's oh gosh, what is there? I think 10 or 11 teams signed up. There's a 6-game guarantee tournament in Columbia here this weekend, and playing in that, getting in 6 games. I think probably what it's going to end up being is pool play on Saturday, and then double elimination on Sunday, if I had to guess, since it is Memorial Day weekend, or they may even start the double elimination stuff Saturday night, afternoon, night, whatever. So basically they're going to do 4 pool play games and then throw it into a double elimination bracket. What's up, James? How you doing, man? And then we'll get things going from there. It'll be a fun tournament. That's the type of tournament that I would like to find and play with you guys in. Something like a BP Hero, like subscriber follower tournament. We could even do one because that would be worth everybody coming in for. Like, I just don't. Honestly, part of it is me just not looking that far ahead of time. But something like that would be really fun to, say, hey, here's this tournament here. We're going to do this, this, and this. Why don't you all come hang out? Like, if it was somewhere like in St. Louis or Kansas City or anywhere, that has like maybe like a Major League ball team or something, we could all meet together on a Friday, go to a baseball game, go play softball for the weekend with your 5 or 6 game guarantee tournament, and maybe BP on Sunday, or who knows, just something for everybody to get together and hang out for the weekend. It'd be a lot of fun. Hell, band up with 1 or 2 teams in the dang tournament. It's hard telling, but it would just be fun to get everybody together and do something like that. And that many guaranteed games would make it worth the trip too. That's the big thing, is some of these tournaments where it might be a 2-game guarantee or double elimination basically, or a 3-game guarantee. Like, that still isn't bad, but you got guys flying in from all across the country. Like, let's get our money's worth out of this thing here, So we'll see what happens with something like that. I need to kind of look at U-Trip's schedule, maybe in like the surrounding area, or maybe you may have some directors and see what's going on. I think U-Trip would probably be the easiest way, because like their way of searching tournaments is just about the easiest way to do it. NSA stuff is kind of weird, and ASA, I don't even know how to use their website hardly. So we'll see what happens with that. That would be kind of cool. If that's something you guys are interested in, maybe we could try and get the ball rolling maybe towards the end of the year. Or I know like a lot of people like do vacation scheduling and things like that. So maybe we could do something like find something early in the year, like as far as like finding the tournament itself, and then kind of get the ball rolling on getting together towards like the middle of next year. Just, give everybody that advanced time ahead, because not everybody can drop what they're doing and get ready for something like that. That's something we could look into. James Brown out there pushing the Jimmer sticks. Are you the Jimmer stick man? I played league. I had a guy on my league team a couple years ago had a Jimmer stick. I didn't mind using that thing to get loose for an at bat. I liked even just kind of standing there holding it in your hands just to stay loose, just to get everything kind of loose and moving. Especially if you're in an EH role where you just kind of stand around until it's time to hit again. The Jimmer stick is good for that, I will say. Things are heavy though. When you got one in your bag. He says I said, hey, man, you forgot your jammer stick. He said, well, I'm going to miss the next game, so just hang on to it, and I'll get it from you afterwards. I was like, all right, bet. So I threw it in my bag, and I was like, God dang, like freaking anchor in my bag right now. Like if I drop this thing, it's just going to crumble to pieces. My bag's so heavy. But it was kind of cool to have. And it's a good tool to have in the dugout. I will say that. Let's see, how's the hotel situation in your area? Or are we all crashing at the... I tell you what, I got a somewhat of a story for you, Jason, on that one. Nobody will be staying at the house. We did that one time, and my wife, bless her heart, she did not kill any of us, and why, I'll never know. I got a bunch of friends together to go play in a snowball tournament. I don't even remember what year it was, maybe 2017. It's been a minute. And basically, I had 11 guys on the team, and I think there was 8 or 9 of us all staying at my old house. And there were people sleeping on the floors, people sleeping on the couches. My buddy Derek Moss threw his feet up, slept in my computer chair. I think we had one guy just put his head down on the kitchen table. And my wife is like 8 months pregnant during all of this. We went out and had a whole lot of sodas and soda pops and soda pops and soda pops. And we ended up, so I used to have a batting cage membership to a little place. When I say this town was like 50 people, it's like 50 people. It's like 10 minutes up the road from here. You got to understand, like, this is a very rural area. But this guy had an indoor batting cage he built for his kid. And he was like, oh, I'll bet, like, I'll, kind of like, rent this out or sell memberships to it just to kind of help pay for it. So here a bunch of us are. We decide at like 1 o'clock in the morning after we'd been drinking sodas for like 4 hours to say, oh, what the hell? Like, let's go and hit some cage bombs. We're going to get ready for tomorrow, right? Because we'll play at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So we're all up in Jacksonville, Missouri, hitting cage bombs. We're up there. Oh yeah. I had this reissue DC-41, one of the white barrels. The white barrel DC-41 was one of the reissues, the black knobs. But man, I wanted to hang on to it for as long as I could, keep it in the wrapper, and one thing led to another. And next thing you know, we've got it out. We've got like 300 swings on it before we leave. We're like, oh yeah, this feels good. This bat feels good. Yeah, let's swing this thing tomorrow. Good idea. And man, I'm telling you, it was an adventure. We had my old man's Suburban. We all piled in that thing to go up there. She drove us around, and then Gabe ended up getting wrangled in the deal too and driving us around. Gabe is sober, never drank a drop in his life, so we had him to haul us around. And I think we all finally went to bed at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And 8 o'clock came really early, and we played like crap. We ended up getting bounced from that tournament early in the day, but we ended up all hanging out and actually started drinking again. But it was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun. But there was like 8 dudes in the house. Everybody's snoring. I mean, dude, it was a situation. I'm going to say that. My wife didn't kill me or any of us, and I'm not trying to find out what that would be like if we did it again. But the hotel situation isn't bad. Depending on where we would get together for something like that, I would try and keep hotels in mind for something like that too, like hotels and airports and that kind of thing, because kind of the kicker of if we were to do it somewhere like Columbia, which would be very local to me, it's like 25 minutes from my house, is they have an airport there, but the airport is like 15 minutes outside of town. So you would have to rent a car or have an Uber come all the way out there to get you. Now, I wouldn't even mind like hauling a handful of people around, but it's just kind of the inconvenience of there's not an airport like right there. You can't just, jump off and say, hey, all right, we're here. Let's go to the house now. It's kind of a weird layout. So, if you could do something like St. Louis or Kansas City where there's major airports, because that's kind of the other thing too, is flying into and out of Columbia is a little bit expensive. So that also presents a problem. But, like I said, we can all kind of play it out and see what happens. And no, Jared, you did not miss me talking about my pockets. We just got out of the way a little bit early, okay? For those that haven't seen the Young Guns video that I posted yesterday, we had a pocket situation. I looked like I was going to fly away, and I believe it might have been Mike even said, Looks like you had some Red Bulls for the video because you had wings and you were going to fly away. Well, brother, we're going to need some bigger wings than what those little pockets were giving me. BP Hero private plane. Yeah, let's get right on that. Let's see. Get caught up with chat here. Phone decides to blow up every time I sit down to do this. Let's see. All right, so in the vlog that I did, I've been posting a little bit of the vlogs and stuff lately. Mike, you're right. Yeah, they would give me wings. It just wouldn't make me fly. So, yeah, Mitchell, you need to turn your notifications on, and that wouldn't happen. He says, I just checked, and there's 2 videos I haven't watched. Well, yeah, because you don't have your notifications on, you knothead. You got to subscribe, and you got to click the bell. Come on. You're better than this. You've ate my food. You've been in my house eating my food, and you can't even turn on notifications. We have to have a talk about that. So, one other thing. I've been doing a little bit of the vlog stuff. I've actually posted 2 vlogs in like a month, and I did like 2 in the last 4 years. But I've had fun doing them, and I've been kind of doing them with my phone and figured out you can actually edit videos really easy on a phone, and that makes the simplicity of things really good because I can record everything with my phone and then edit the stuff while I'm at work or sitting on the couch or whatever else. Like, yeah, you can edit on a laptop sitting in your lap, but editing software is a lot more complex, and if you got everything right there on your phone, like it's something I can do at work, or if I got some downtime, like when you get to the gym in the mornings, like I like to just kind of sit in the parking lot for a minute and like get in the mindset. Like I'm not one of those ones that can just go straight from the work to the gym. I'm gonna like sit there, get in the mindset, and like gonna get my mind right. It'd be really good for just a little bit of downtime and stuff like that. So I've been doing the vlogs, and I had somebody ask in the vlog, Consistent and Clean is what he goes by on YouTube. I like that name. He says, "What's up, hero? In your next vlog, can you talk about being at the plate in a walk-off situation, times you've failed or succeeded, your mindset, and how to deal with coming up short? Hope you can share some experiences. Thanks for what you do." Well, I appreciate you, man. I do know that you said to talk about it in the vlog a little bit. Maybe I will, but I figured it'd be a really good topic for the podcast. And when it comes to like a walk-off situation, I haven't been in an actual like walk-off situation and walked a game off a handful of times. My guy Junk has. This one time, all we needed was a solo to win the tournament, and somebody said, "How many home runs we got left?" I said, 1. Junk's walking to the plate, and I said, "Junk, you won't." And then Junk did it. Junk knows what I'm talking about if he's still in here. My guy Jacob Junker in the chat here. Yeah, see, he's already saying it. This one time Jesse said you won't. So I have been in game-ending situations. Obviously, what could have turned into a walk-off situation, a handful of times. No, I don't think I've ever been in anything like that tournament-wise. And I will say that, like, my approach definitely drastically changes when it comes to those type of situations. Like, it's kind of one of those things where you take all these swings in BP, you practice, you prep. And honestly, it's a little bit for moments like this. And sorry, I'm reading the chat here. I got distracted. So it's a mentality thing for sure. Like, you practice to get to that moment and everything else. And probably the big takeaway that I take from it is you almost have to trust your swing. It's one of those deals where, everybody says trust your hands, trust your swing, trust you can do this. It doesn't ring more true than it does right there. And what I mean by that is it's a situation where you just have to put a swing on the ball. You have to know, like if you hit enough BP, I'm not saying everybody does. I know that I understand, like I'm in kind of a rare category as far as the people that take a whole bunch of swings. But it's kind of one of those deals where in BP, like I can look at a certain pitch and know as it's coming in, I know what I can do with that pitch. So I wait for that pitch and you capitalize on an opportunity. A lot of times, what I'm looking to do more than not is just not miss. If I can take an approach to just putting a barrel on a ball, whether it be you just trying to undress somebody with it on the infield, hitting a gap with it, or doing that kind of thing. I'll wait on the pitch, whatever I need to do with it, and just kind of go hard. My main thing when it comes to doing that is not being the last out. Like, you're bottom of seventh, winning run on first base or whatever else. Like, I don't want to swing for the home run. I know that it may not make sense to a lot of people, but I don't trust myself to hit a home run on command in that situation. And I don't want to be the last out. I don't want to miss. So if I can hit a gap, or if I can just hit a ball through and move the runner around, like, I can keep the game alive. I have to trust who's behind me. The big thing is trust your teammates. You have to trust your teammates in situations like that. Trust your teammates. And if you can keep the game going, and it's not like you're making it the next guy's problem, pass it off to the next guy. You've got to know that the guy behind you can do the job too. Don't ever take a swing thinking, oh, great, I've got so-and-so behind me, so I've got to do this. No, you got to trust your teammates. They're your teammates, and not to be blunt, but it kind of is on them if you don't pull through, but you have to give them the opportunity. Like, there's times where, if I take a selfish swing to try and end a game, and dude behind me is thinking, well, hell, I got left on deck. Did he not trust me to take that swing? Because I've had that happen to me. Did he not trust me to take that swing? Did he just want to try and end it himself? He could have gotten a single, and then I could have drove him around. There's a million different situations that play out there. The main thing to take away from stuff like that is to not be the last out. Like, the one that jumps out to me more than any, just like right now, probably just because it's like one of the more current ones. So last year we were playing a GSL tournament in Sullivan, playing against the Iron Pandas, and it had been a back and forth game. Iron Pandas is a great team. They gave us problems every time we played them, and it was a close game. I was the DHH, so designated home run hitter. I can hit as many home runs as I want because obviously home run issues were a thing last year for us, and we were out of home runs. But being the DHH, I could hit one. I could have ended the game. I think we were down 1 run, so it would have been a 3-run home run because we had 2 runners on. And the only thing that went through my mind, I got the pitch that I wanted. Curtis throws the pitch in, and I'm thinking, like, my eyes light up. And I didn't think, like, hit it out. It's like, if you just hit a ball in the face and make sure I wanted to hit the ball in the face, make sure it was up over the infield, and the rest would do its job. Like, trust yourself that you're going to pull through in this situation. And just try lifting the ball, driving through, getting a good swing on it. Ended up one hop in the fence on a very well hit line drive down the left field line, and ended up tying the game. And then I want to say my man Boss actually ended up scoring me to win the game. And at bat or 2 later, I think I got moved over because there was less than 1 out. That was the other kicker. Is there was only one? I think there was 1 out at the time. So that's a big thing, is like not hitting into a double play either. Like, I had to trust myself to hit over the infield. I had to elevate the ball and hit over the infield, pulling a ball at sketchy territory, but you got to trust yourself to do it. You take all these swings in BP, you take all these repetitions, know what you can do with certain pitches. I saw the pitch come in, I knew what I could do with it. I just wanted to hit it in the face and hit the piss out of it, and I did, and it worked out. We ended up winning the game, but that's back to just kind of keeping the game alive. I'm not looking to hit a home run. I'm not looking to be the hero. That kind of thing. Like, I want to keep the game alive and keep it going for my teammates. I know my teammates will pull through for me. Now, there's been like some league situations and stuff like that where, and there are just guys that play league, so don't take it the wrong way. But I don't approach league with near the seriousness that I do tournament ball. But there's been times in league where, the game is on the line or it's a tense situation. I'll swing for a home run there. Mostly because it's just league. I know you hear people say that, and to the guys that do play nothing but league, don't take it the wrong way, but to me it is just league. It's not an entire day invested at a ballpark with, paying $250 a team, traveling 3.5 hours away or however far to go play softball. It's league 20 minutes down the road. So I'll swing for a home run in those situations. And there was a night we were playing with the Cobra Kai gang back in the day. If you're local, that kind of dates you a little bit. like the 2017, 2018 era, somewhere around in there, and playing against Synergy in league, the doubleheader league. And, Synergy was probably the best team in that doubleheader league, but they weren't that night. We just came off a win, and I kind of told myself, like, all right, I'm going to put this team on my back here, and we're just going to go out here and we're going to show out. And I had the old combat avarice. The old girl was hitting some scuds, and I hit a home run my first 2 at-bats, and then I want to say I hit a double in the at-bat after that, or maybe it was home run, double, home run, whatever it was. I actually vlogged this night, and it just like it was time to check in. Like, it got to the point at the end of the game, I come up with a chance to walk it off, and we still had a home run left, and I didn't even make it to the plate. And the catcher's like, "No," he's like, "We're not pitching. You go to first." And prime example of trusting your teammates right here. I didn't even get to the box. They intentionally walked me, put me on first. I go get to first, and my guy Josh is hitting behind me. Second pitch, hits a walk-off grand slam to win the game for us. Trust your teammates. And, it's kind of one of those deals where... Sorry, I'm getting distracted reading chat again. I'm so bad at that. I got to, look away or do something and then come back to the chat. But yeah, just do what you can to keep your team alive, basically, is the message. I've been harping on this for way too long, and I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself here. Do what you can to keep your team alive is my main takeaway from clutch situations, with a couple of stories sprinkled in there as well. Trust yourself. You have to trust yourself and trust your teammates. I gotta move on here, otherwise I'm gonna sit here and just talk in circles about that. Sorry. Ooh, a little bit of weather action happening outside. I don't know if you could hear that thunder in this microphone or not. So changing gears here a little bit, going to, it's getting to be that time of year, benefit tournaments. So everybody's kind of got their own feelings and thoughts on benefit tournaments and payouts. Me personally, I feel like if a benefit tournament doesn't have a payout, who cares? It's a benefit tournament. It's a fundraiser. It's for a cause. It's not for, Did I lose my internet? Can y'all still hear me? I'm getting a weird message on my broadcast software here. Okay, it's still going. So, I don't know what that was. I heard that thunder, and then I got a weird pop-up message on my broadcast here. Something about bandwidth. I was like, oh, hell, I done lost my internet. So anyway, I kind of feel like when it comes to fundraiser tournaments that don't have payouts, I actually got into a little bit of an argument with someone on Facebook about it last year. Man, it's a benefit tournament. Why you... if anything, if you win the money, if you go to a benefit tournament to play and you win the money, just give it back. It's a benefit tournament. I understand that, sometimes there is a substantial amount of money to be paid out, and maybe even just split it. Just take your entry fee back and go on. I could even get down with giving just the entry fee back, maybe, as far as the team getting the entry fee back and going on. You played softball for free that day, but I don't see the harm in trying to raise as much money as you can for the cause. That's kind of the point. Why am I going to go out and have a benefit tournament, rent these fields to host a benefit tournament, pay for umpires for the fields for the benefit tournament, and, whatever costs you might run into if you need to pay for some diamond dry or whatever else the situation might be. That's all things that you're going to have to encounter as you're trying to run this tournament. So by the time you paid for fields, you paid for umpires and everything else. You can have volunteer umpires and that kind of thing, but I'm very against the volunteer umpire thing. It's money well spent to have umpires. There's less arguments, there's less whining, there's no biased umpiring. It's not like you're going to have... One thing that always got me is some of these benefit stuff you go to is volunteer umpires. Then again, it's whatever. It's a benefit tournament. So again, we're not looking to get super serious or super competitive. But the one thing that I never understood is the losing team supplies the umpire. Now, when you get down into elimination games and you've got the losing team providing umpires, all it takes is one person to get their feelings hurt and decide they want to umpire. And I've had this happen to me. And the losing team provides the umpire. Well, then you've got this dude that you just beat that's salty as hell that he lost because to some people softball is everything. And next thing you know, you're getting absolutely screwed because he wants to see you lose now that he's lost. But the money for, I understand it's a benefit, like I said, but the money for umpires is money well spent. But when it comes to payouts, like, who cares if it doesn't have a payout? If you want to pay out the entry fee back, then that's fine. Do that. But benefit tournaments, I won't say shouldn't, but it's not a big deal if they don't have payouts. It's not the end of the world type of thing, like some people think it is. I've seen people say, oh, well, your raise, because I mean, it's easy to do the math. You get X amount of, you look and see what the entry fee is, and you do, entry fee times how many teams. Well, that's how much money you're going to make. People say, oh, well, you're making all that money. You're not even going to pay any of it out. Well, is it a benefit or is it a pay this team to win? Hello? I don't quite understand that mentality. And like I said, if you want to give entry fee back, fine. Here's your entry fee. Or even if you win the damn tournament. If you're not showing up to win the money and you win the money, take your entry fee, pay your players back that paid to play that day, and give the rest back. How hard is that? I just don't understand that mentality. Maybe it's selfish. I don't know. Like, I've seen before, there was at a benefit tournament, there's a home run derby, and it's kind of it was one of those, we'll pay you to win type things. I think it was a $500 win if you won, and the rest went to a charity. And they had a home run derby as well. And I think the home run derby was like $10 a person. It actually had a pretty good turnout. I think there was like 20 people for the home run derby, and it came off to a swing off. I mean, it was a hell of a show to watch. It was pretty fun to watch. But dude wins like $200. Sorry, yeah. It was half. I guess it was half. So winner gets half of the home run derby, and legitimately just took the money, stuck it in his pocket, and went on. Like, damn, dude, benefit. Charity, giving back. And no offense to anybody that's ever done anything like this, but man, I mean, yeah, you spent $10 and made $100, but we're all gathered here on this day to make money for somebody that needs it worse than we do. Let him have it. Just let him have it. Ran over. You're hosting a benefit tournament, and somebody tells you that you need to pay out. You just tell them to come see me. Dog barking. I may get caught up in the chat here for just a second before I get on to this last thing here. James Brown says, just a question. We are an E team and seem to travel all over the place and play lots of opens and D tournaments. Anything good out your way? I prefer a bigger tournament. So I'm assuming you mean U-Trip because, I mean, like I said, I think that's what a majority of people play. There is some decent U-Trip tournaments around here, but I will tell you that the directors really like combining divisions around here. That's kind of what's happening this weekend. Last time I looked, I don't know if anybody else has signed up or not. The last time I looked, there's 2 C teams, 4 D teams, and 4 E teams, and they're just going to run a pool play and 2 double elimination. So, you could be the unfortunate E team that gets a C team, both C teams in your dang pool. That's kind of thing that sucks about that. Yeah, it'll break up into, it'll break up into pools and everything else, and everything will be fine after that. But, I just feel like it's kind of crazy, and I don't think run spots are near enough. And don't get me started on the rant of run spots, Junk, before you even say a word, because I already know what you'll say. But I don't think run spots are enough, because the run spots basically just cover if that team is really good and the team you're spotting runs for. So using C versus E here, the C team spots the E team. What would it be? 6 runs? Let me stop and think about that. You expect an E? It would take a really good E team to catch a C team off their game for that 6 runs to be relevant. Yeah, Junk, I know your name. I know your name ain't that. I figured you were going to say something funny because we all know he would. But 6 runs isn't enough cover for C to E. It's just not. So that gets kind of tough where, you guys are looking to travel and coming to play. If say you came here to play this weekend and you get stuck with C teams in your pool and it's just, an E team versus C team. And I think everybody kind of like assumes what's going to happen here. And if you get a really good C team and you're a not so good E team, man, you really are in for it then. 6 runs ain't going to do nothing for you. So I think that run spots need to be more if you're going to do something like that. And also the home run rules should be for the, maybe not. I'm just sitting here kind of talking out my ass now. I'm saying maybe like home run rules should be for the lesser team, but I'm just stopping and thinking like a C team with no home runs that hit, somebody will get hurt. Maybe like meet in the middle, divide, take what one would get and the other would get and meet in the middle. Maybe like give the C team 3 home runs, but even still, if you're looking at a bunch of C teams, they're just going to start hitting nukes off of pitchers' faces because they're out of home runs to hit. So maybe that's not a good idea, but there has to be something different with a run spot for sure. But anyway, back to your question though. There is, Jock Snitch out in Kansas here in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks away. It usually has a really big turnout. I know the Boo and Brew in Kansas is another one. One of the biggest tournaments in the Midwest. I mean, there's teams coming from all over the place to play in that thing. It's around the Halloween time of the year. If you want to send me a message on my Facebook page, the BP Hero, I can try and get you some links to some of that stuff. Just the ones that I know that are there. And I feel like there's a couple other big ones too. Just some good tournaments that would be worth coming out for you. And there's going to be a lot of teams there. And they'll have E divisions as well. Oh, yeah, Hooters is another one. Yeah, Junk, Hooters. Hooters would be another one. That's going to have a big turnout where it would be worth the trip to come out. And, again, it'll have divisions. It's not going to be everything just kind of chucked in like most of the tournaments that are qualifiers or anything like that. Yes, I understand it's the qualifiers. So you can go play state or you can go to Worlds or whatever else. But because that's what this weekend is a qualifier. But at the same time, nobody wants to be the E team that gets stuck playing C teams because not enough C teams showed up. Let's see. Digging into just the one last thing here. Interesting little tidbit, which kind of blew my mind, I must say. So, the brand Nike. Who knows about the brand Nike? Oh, I'm probably going to make myself look like an idiot here. So, the company Nike and the name behind Nike. Nike was actually... Let me get this pulled up so I'll make sure I get this straight. So Nike was... Who knew that Nike was actually a Greek goddess? She was the goddess of victory. And I don't know how much you guys are into like the Greek mythology stuff. I find it very interesting. Oh, hush. Nike is, in ancient Greek religion, the goddess of victory and the daughter of Pallas and the infernal river Styx. Who knew that? Who knew that the Nike brand and the Nike name was from the Greek religion? Like I found that super interesting. Like I heard about that and I was like, well, there's no way. And then the more I got to thinking about it, Nike made a line which I thought was like a really cool, and I'm sure they meant to do it. Nike had the arrow Athena, which was their fast pitch bats, and just kind of another play on the Greek mythology. Let's see. Because Athena was the goddess of battle, strategy, and wisdom. And she was always accompanied by her owl and the goddess of victory, Nike. So if you were familiar with the arrow Athena from Nike, it all comes together. And that's actually where the wings from the Nike logo used to come from. The old school Nike logo had the wings and stuff. And that's actually where that came from. It was part of Nike's character. Nike's, I shouldn't say character, but part of the Nike thing was the wings and everything else. It's just kind of crazy how it all tied together. I really should have prepared for that a little bit better, so I could tell the story and be a little more thorough with it. Because the Nike mythology symbol is golden sandals, wings, and wreaths. Let's see if I find a picture here. It's just kind of crazy. I never, ever knew that. My wife just kind of stumbled upon that one day and figured that out. I thought that was really stinking cool. Because I don't know why, but this stuff has always interested me. It's the Greek mythology and all that stuff. It's just been super interesting to me. And one of my favorite stories is the Achilles story. So you have the Achilles, for those that don't know, I'm sure everybody does. But for those that don't know, your Achilles tendon is the tendon that attaches, obviously, to your calf, to your heel. And there was Achilles the warrior. Achilles the warrior was deemed, borderline invincible, undefeatable. Nobody could defeat him. And then in a battle, he got hit with an arrow in his Achilles tendon, which is where the name comes from, because there is nothing you can do for the Achilles tendon. You can't do therapy. You can't do stretches. You can't strengthen it. You literally just have to let it heal. It was his weakness. That's why the name came from the Achilles tendon. They found his weakness. The tendon got clipped with an arrow, and it provided his weakness. It showed his weakness. And I don't know, I always thought that story was kind of cool in the Greek mythology stuff. Always kind of wanted to give one of my kids a middle name, Achilles, or maybe name a dog Achilles. I don't know, I'm just weird like that. I thought it was kind of cool. So there is your learning tidbit for the BP Hero podcast today. Greek mythology, or at least my sloppy rendition of it. But we have hit the hour mark, and not that I was trying to ramble to fill the hour mark. And so John's got the better part of the story. The word is Achilles was dipped into a river to become immortal, and his mother held him by his Achilles tendon, meaning he didn't go into the river, thus his weak spot. Yes, I guess I left that part of the story out. Yeah, so that is, like I said, that stuff's just super cool. It's mythology, so who knows if it was real or not, kind of stuff. But it's just super interesting to hear those stories. And Junk is spot on. I guess I should have led with that instead of just going straight to the end of the story. It's telling you what happened at the end of the movie instead of catching you up from the beginning. But yeah, it would have been beneficial to tell that part of the story. But we have hit the hour mark of the podcast. That's what I was kind of trying to shoot for. It's kind of that happy medium of me not being up too late so I can get to bed and get something done with my night. Adam says brownies are his weakness. So what does that make you then? What would be your Greek? Hey, we'll cover that next week. Dipping brownie. Yeah. What part of the brownie didn't get dipped that it was a weakness? Is it the part that didn't have the icing on it, so it just crumbled apart? More on that and more the next week with Fat Guy BP on the podcast. Sweetheart, in case you hit it, BP Hero's out of here.